form where Radha and God Krishna exist as one. Watch till the end because what happens in this temple every few minutes is something you won't see anywhere else. Long ago, in the Nigman forest of Vrindavan, there lived a saint named Swami Haridas. He did not seek followers. Temples. He only sang day after day, alone in the forest, calling out to Radha and God Krishna. One day, something happened that had never happened before. As Haridas sang, the forest went completely still. The wind stopped, the birds fell silent, and in front of him stood Radha and God Krishna. Not as idols, not as a vision, but as two living forms, standing together, watching him. Haridas froze. He had spent his entire life singing to them, never once expecting they would actually come. And do you know how Kanakadurgamma came to Vijayawada? The secret is in the mountain she sits on. Long ago, there was a yaksha named Keela. He performed intense tapas for Durgamma. When Durgamma appeared before him, Keela made one request. Durgamma, please stay in my heart forever. Durgamma blessed him and said, you will become a mountain on the banks of the Krishna river. And one day, that yaksha became the hill we now call Indrakiladri. But Durgamma did not come there immediately because first Mahishasura had to be destroyed. In Krita Yuga, Mahishasura was troubling the world. The Devas prayed to Durgamma and she appeared in her fierce form as Mahishasura Mardini. With 8 arms and divine weapons, she destroyed Mahishasura. After the battle, Durgamma came to Indrakiladri just as she had promised Keela. And when she appeared on this hill, do you know how Narasimha Swami came to Simhachalam? Watch till the end because the form worshipped here is one of the rarest forms of Vishnu in India. Long ago, after God Vishnu tapas, received a powerful boon from God Brahma and began troubling every devotee of God Vishnu. But there was one person he could not control, his own son, Prahalada. Prahalada's devotion could not be broken. No punishment changed him. No threat frightened him. Finally, Hiranyakashipu gave a terrifying order. He asked his servants to throw Prahalada into the sea and then place Mount Simhadri over him. Imagine that, a child devotee trapped between the ocean below and a mountain above, but Prahalada was not alone. God Narayana rescued him. Why are all gods born only in India? Everyone asks this. Nobody answers it properly. India is Pavitra Bhumi. That's not an answer. India had great rishis and gurukuls. Every civilization says that about their land. The real answer is in our Puranas, and almost no Hindu has heard it. Our Puranas say God created 9 worlds. 8 of them are paradise. People there live for 10,000 years. Never age, never suffer. Sounds perfect. Except in those 8 worlds, nothing you do has any consequence. No right, no wrong. You live 10,000 years and not one choice you made changed anything. Paradise, but completely meaningless. The 9th world is different. Life is hard here. You struggle, you suffer, you fail. But on this land, and only on this land, what you do Do you know how Mukambika Amma came to Kollur? The story begins with a powerful asura called Kaumasura. He wanted a boon from God Shiva, a boon that would make him impossible to kill. But before he could ask for it, Vagdevi made him dumb. His voice was taken away, and from that day, Kaumasura became known as Mukasura. Muka means one who cannot speak, but Mukasura did not become peaceful. He became furious. He began troubling the gods, and when the gods could not bear his cruelty anymore, they sought refuge in Devi. Then Devi did something extraordinary. She took into herself the powers of the three Murtis and all the gods, and with that combined divine power, she destroyed Mukasura. After the battle, Devi did not leave Kollur. She assimilated into the Linga, and from that day, she became known here as Mukambika, the mother who silenced Mukasura. But Kollur was sacred even
Hello. Hello. Good evening, everyone. As the guests arrive, I request the audience to kindly switch off their mobile phones and rise up to welcome the guests.
A very good evening, dear audience. Thank you all for coming for this beautiful evening, and your presence is definitely going to make it more meaningful. As you all know, today we have all assembled here for the Rostrum Club's talk. This is the 5th edition of our talk, and so far we have hosted some eminent personalities in Rostrum Forum. To name a few, this year the program was inaugurated by Bansuri Swaraj, who inaugurated the Rostrum Club. And then we had people of all genres. Right from we had a 9-year-old entrepreneur, Master Atvik Kumar, who came and presented his ideas, from ideas to implementation. I guess the guests arrived, and my fillers can be put down. So as the guests make their way to the dais, may I request the august audience to kindly rise.
Namaskara Mangaluru.
I was supposed to be Mangalore's temple girl, but it ended up being temple girl.
When it started in Mumbai, be there again when it closes in Chennai.
Stop building a life that looks good. Start building a life that feels good. Dada maltanama. Kaas pura janakla malper. Illu pura janakla malper. You make a difference because of you. If someone is happy, avu onji sarthakada jeevana.
Speech is the bridge between thought and influence, where ideas acquire voice and words acquire the power to move hearts and shape minds. Beyond the art of speaking lies the power to inspire and lead. Presenting Rostrum Club, where words are crafted with purpose and confidence takes central stage. A very good evening to everyone gathered here. I, Madhu, student of 2nd PUC, welcome you all to the 5th Rostrum Talk of the academic year. Before we begin this enlightening evening, I would like to say a few words about the spirit of Rostrum. Rostrum, the Alva Speaking Club, is a platform where voices are nurtured, thoughts are refined, and meaningful conversations take place. It provides its student members with opportunities to participate in and conduct panel discussions on topics ranging from politics and community issues to the academic and contemporary subjects. Over the years, we have been honored to host several distinguished speakers who have addressed the forum on a wide array of topics of significant interest. To name a few, Dr. Ravi N. Margasahayam, International Space Safety, NASA, Shri Guru Gaur Gopal Das, International Life Coach, Mr. Manish Shankar Iyer, former diplomat and Lok Sabha MP, Dr. Subramaniam Swami, former Harvard professor and Union Minister, Mrs. Bansuri Swaraj, Master Atvik Kumar, Lieutenant Colonel Ankita Srivatsava, Dr. R.K. Nair, and many more. Every Rostrum session is a celebration of ideas, and today's Beladingala Chintane promises to be a beautiful confluence of heritage, wisdom, and storytelling. Shilayam Samskriti Jivatihi Shilpam Bharata Mauna Bhasha Devalayaha Samskrite Sakshinam Shilasu Jivati Bharatam Shilasu Jivati Bharatam. There are some occasions where a traditional welcome carries deep meaning. Today, as we welcome a person who has dedicated her life to bringing alive the stories, traditions, and fragrance of our temple heritage, it is not only fitting that our gesture of welcome reflects that very spirit. While most of us associate Temple Run with the fast-paced mobile game, here she is, the true essence, the true Temple Runner, Mrs. Namratha Mohan, popularly known as the Temple Girl. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. A book symbolizes knowledge and enlightens the mind, and the humble jasmine flowers symbolizes purity, devotion, and the timeless beauty of our tradition. I now request Mr. Vivek Alva, Trustee, Alva's Education Foundation, and Dr. Grishma Alva, Administrator of Alva's Pharmacy, to kindly welcome our esteemed guest, Ms. Namratha Mohan, with the book and jasmine flower. We also extend a warm welcome to our trustee, Mr. Vivek Alva, who has been instrumental in conceptualizing this forum. Welcome you, sir. I also welcome Dr. Deepa Kotari, President of Rostrum Club, for her constant efforts to bring out the best through the Rostrum Club. I extend a cordial welcome to the Program Coordinator, Dr. Yogesh Kairodi, for coordinating the program. I also welcome our associate gifting sponsor, Mrs. Nandita Acharya, managing partner Zari Kuta, Zari Junior, and Zari Bedra, who was kind enough to oblige to extend her support in our endeavors. Welcome you, ma'am. My special I also extend my cordial welcome to Mrs. Meenakshi Alva to this event. Welcome you, ma'am. My special welcome to Mr. Shashidhar, husband of Mrs. Namratha Mohan, who has been her constant support. Welcome you, sir. I also extend my heartfelt welcome to all the distinguished guests, today's esteemed audience, and Rostrum members who have joined us. Your presence adds meaning to this evening of reflection and dialogue. To formally introduce the guest, may I now invite Ms. Niyati, the Rostrum member, to come out to the dais and introduce the guests to the gathering.
A person's profession may define what they do, but their purpose defines who they become. Our guest this evening chose to listen to the quiet call of heritage and transformed a personal passion into a movement that has touched millions. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished guest for the evening, Mrs. Namratha Mohan, fondly known as Temple Girl. Born and brought up in the temple town of Mangalore, Mrs. Namratha Mohan grew up amidst a culture where temples were not merely places of worship, but living spaces of history, architecture, tradition, and community. Though she stepped into the corporate world and built a successful career, her heart continued to seek the stories carved in ancient stones and preserved through generations. Then came the pandemic, a time where the temple doors across the country remained closed and millions of devotees were unable to seek the comfort of these sacred spaces. It was during this period that she chose to take the temples to the people. What began as a humble effort to document the lesser-known temples of Mangalore soon became a movement. Through her heartfelt storytelling, she traveled across India, uncovering the legends, history, architecture, traditions, and the profound science behind our temples. Today, lovingly known as Temple Girl, she has created a remarkable digital community with over 2.1 million followers on Instagram and millions of people engaging with her content every month. Her journey has enabled her to interact with some of the most respected leaders of our time, including Sadhguru, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and the Shankaracharya of Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham, bringing their insights and wisdom to the people around the world. Her work has received recognition from various states and institutions. She has been felicitated by the chief ministers of Tripura, Goa, and Maharashtra. Invited to speak at IIM Sambalpur as part of the Vikasit Bharat initiative, delivered a TEDx talk at Amity University, Delhi, and has been honored at the Madhya Pradesh Tourism Influencers Summit. Her work has also been featured in leading publications such as The Times of India, Vijay Karnataka, and Dinamalar. Yet perhaps the most beautiful chapter of her journey is her vision for the next generation. Through her newest initiative, Temple Girl Kids, she is creating moments where children can pause, put aside their screens, and reconnect with the magic of ancient mythology, values, and timeless stories, ensuring that our rich heritage continues to live in young hearts. The next chapter of her journey will soon find a place on bookshelves as well, with 5 books being published by Penguin Random House and HarperCollins in the coming years. But beyond the millions of followers, the accolades, and the achievements, what truly defines Mrs. Namratha Mohan is the sincerity of her purpose to make us pause, look back at our roots, and rediscover the treasures of our ancient wisdom. This evening, we are not merely welcoming a speaker, we are welcoming a storyteller, a heritage explorer, and a bridge between the wisdom of the past and curiosity of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, with great admiration and immense pleasure, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Namratha Mohan, our very own temple girl. Ma'am, the stage is all yours.
A very good evening to everyone seated over here. The atmosphere is just too beautiful today. I love monsoon, I love rains. There is something magical about rains, and most importantly, apologies, I was a little late. I had to do a temple run, right? How can I not do this talk before my temple run? So thanks to Vivek, he took me to one beautiful Shiva temple. So I'm still, in that vibes of the temple. It was beautiful. It's raining. I'm alone walking in the temple. But yes, right now I'm here. Just because the atmosphere is so beautiful, I want all of you to imbibe this positive energy that is there over here. Just close your eyes and let us begin this beautiful evening with this small sloka. So say it along with me. So I'll request everyone, just close your eyes, just soak in the positivity that is there around you. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Once again, warm welcome to everyone seated over here, and thank you so much for having me here today. This day is going to be indeed very special for me. And before we start, I know today's topic is about my journey from Boardrooms to Temple Girl. Let me ask a quick question to everyone over here. Most of you, I can see, all the college-going students especially. What do you have in your mind? Do you have a clear answer of where do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years down the line? So when I ask this question, do you have a clear answer? If yes, just raise your hand. This is a common interview question, right? Okay, amazing. One. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm happy I asked the right question. Okay, we have one more person over there. That's nice. But I was among the 99% of you seated over here who was as clueless as y'all. Just 30 kilometers from here, studying, in BBM. Sitting in college and thinking, what is my future? What am I going to do? Will I get a job?
Should I do an MBA? Where will I be? Mangalore is so small, there's no opportunities. Where should I go from Mangalore? So many thoughts, flooded in my mind, and I'm sure all of you seated, or most of them seated over here, are in that same juncture of your life. You're confused, right? And today I'm going to walk you through my journey, and it obviously has to be through the lens of a temple, right? What else can you expect? I am the temple girl. It has to be through a temple. So let me talk about one of the most beautiful temple I visited recently. So it is Sri Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple. How many of you have visited this temple? Wow, okay, that's a good number of people. So I recently visited that temple, and I've been there because I'm writing a book on Vishnu, so I'm traveling to all the Vishnu temples. And the minute I say Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple, tell me what comes to your mind. Yes? Yes, 3 doors. Yes? Treasure, wealth, okay, most important. Yes?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
This is ex-cadet Purab from the NCC Army Wing. So when you talk about Anant Padmanabha temple, most people will say treasure, curse, vault bee and serpents. But when I listen, the Ananta Padmanabha temple, so it's all about Ananta, that is infinite. Padmanabha, it is always like Vishnu's another name from where the Kamala came and Brahma originated and the creation started. So it's not just a temple, but I can say it has a deeper meaning of existence, and I think so creation and much more. Because I think so it's not all about the gold or the treasure, but it's all about the mystical things which is there. So
Beautiful.
That's all, ma'am.
I think you cut short my speech by 15 minutes. So now I know why you raised your hand. You definitely know what you're going to do 5 years down the line. But, while visiting the temple, like most of y'all, all I had in my mind was the wealth, the gold. There is a vault. There is vault A, B, C. It seems as a vault which is not opened. There are snakes. There is underground pathway. So many other things thanks to our WhatsApp university. That is a knowledge that I had. But when I visited that temple, I must tell you, it was surreal. It was so beautiful because now I started seeing temple in a different lens. So for people who have not been there, it's a beautiful 18 feet of God Vishnu in a reclining position. There are 3 doors. So the first door, you see the face. The second door, you see the Nabi. There is a lotus on which God Brahma is sitting. And the third door is where you see the lotus feet. And this beautiful reclining idol of God Vishnu, can you believe it? How is it made? It's not made through any granite stone, That was what I had in my mind. Oh, it must have been made through a normal granite stone. But it is made through 12,008 shaligramas. Now we all know that one shaligrama itself has so much of power. Now just imagine there are 12,008 shaligramas, and this was all done much before technology, much before even what was called as cement or all these things that we are speaking about these days. It was done centuries ago. And where are the shaligramas found? Any idea? Usually, most of the shaligramas, where is it found? Yes, it's found in Nepal. And in those days, they have brought the shaligramas from Nepal to Kerala. How? Through elephants. Unbelievable, right? And that is how beautiful idol of God Vishnu is being made. I think I can just go on talking only about, the idol. We'll keep it for some other day, hopefully if Vivek calls me once again. But that is how beautiful God Vishnu is over there. It is not just about gold. It's not about the walls. It is about how beautifully, this reclining position of God Vishnu is. So I resonate my journey a lot with this temple when I went over there. So when you enter first, you see the face of God Vishnu. Now talking about my face, my journey, I was like you, seated, in college, clueless, confused, thinking, what am I going to do? And I did my BBM, I went to Mumbai, I did my MBA in finance, and I was in my second year. And in the second year, I think most of you might understand or relate to what I'm saying. The only big challenge we have in life is, God, give us one good job, right? One good job and our life is done. That's all. We don't want anything else in life. One job, one good salary, all the problems are solved. So I had the same thing in my mind. I worked day and night, and it was a time of placements. You won't believe it how many times I got rejected. 18 times. 18 times I have been failed in interviews when I went till the last stage and I got rejected. It was only the 19th time when I was lucky that JP Morgan came in the last. I finally got selected. And that's it. That moment I felt I have achieved. This is it, I've been working hard my entire life. I've got a dream job. Little did I know that was the worst nightmare that was yet to begin. So all of you seated over here, trust me, this is your golden life. And I, coming from Mangalore, a small place, I had no visibility to what a corporate life looks like. How is it to work with one of the best minds in Mumbai in the financial sector? But anyways, I got the best job. I was excited. I went to JP Morgan. I started working hard. And it was 1 year with JP Morgan, and it was a time of increment annual cycle where we have those discussions, right? It's like a report card review. I enter over there, and the senior vice president literally throws the paper on my face. You are an MBA. What have you done in 1 year? This is not expected out of you. I was shattered. I felt like I worked my entire life for this one job. I worked so hard, and this is what I'm getting to listen. I didn't even know what should I expect at that point. That scene is something that is still fresh in my eyes even to this day. I was crying. I wept so bad. I didn't even know what to tell back to him. I opened the door, same, a floor like this, hundreds of people looking at me. I'm crying. I came back. I sat on my desk. I started working on everything that he told me, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I challenged that, I'm going to make him telling the best things about me. Now, why am I sharing this specific incident with all of you is that because you all are in that juncture, sooner or later you all are going to step into corporate. It is not going to be easy. But at that very moment, you feel like giving up. You feel like running away. Just remember this girl who stood in front of you, who cried because the papers were thrown on her face. So that definitely was that one changing moment in my life. So that happened. I started learning. I started working really hard. And then I got a very good job at Citibank, financial planning and analysis. So someone coming from a finance background would understand that's like, a dream role. So I was working with Citibank, and that became my face. Just like how when you enter the temple, you see God's face. That was what Namratha was all about. My dream was becoming a CEO, a CFO, heading a company. I was all in over there, in my corporate career. But slowly after that, you enter towards a second door, which is a Nabi, which is where you see the growing lotus. God Brahma sitting on that, who is no one but, the creator. And that was the most challenging phase of my life. Okay, I finished the part 1 of my career, 2020. Then comes the pandemic. So I got married. There's a lot more before the pandemic. I got married. I was working in Citibank, and my husband was in the US. I was very excited. I wouldn't say excited because I was a very homely person. I like to, stay over here. But anyways, arranged marriage. What could I say? Parents told US. I was like, okay, US. I resigned my job in Citibank thinking that, I can spend some time with my family. And we were speaking on the phone, and just 1 week before our wedding, my husband tells me, in future, I'm planning to come down and settle in India. It's just temporary. I want to be in US. That thought kept me on hold the entire night. I just couldn't sleep. I was thinking, I worked so hard. I've done my MBA. I got a job. I'm doing so well. I resigned my job only for my husband to come down and settle in India after a few years. I didn't even know what will I go to US, what will I do over there. I was clueless, right? Because at that age, I was not smart like the guy who raised his hand over there. I really was clueless. I was just going with the flow. And then next day morning, 4 o'clock, I called him up. I told him, hey, look, tell me one thing. If you're planning to come to India, why don't you come now, right away? He's like, are you mad or what? We are getting married in 1 week. You don't want to come to US. I told him, no, I don't want to come to US. I don't have any such craze of going to US or going outside India. I'm very happy over here. You leave your job and you come back to India. And he's like, are you sure? I told him, I'm 100% sure. If you really want to come to India, come now. And thanks to my husband, he leaves his job and he decides to come to India. But you all are clapping right now. At that moment, everyone thought we both were crazy, we were mad. What are you going to come to India? He is also well educated. I've studied. He left his job. I left my good job thinking I'm going to US. It was such a messy wedding, I would say. People over there are telling me, hey, you're going to US, hey, you're going to US. And I'm just smiling, yes, I'm very much here. I'm not going anywhere. So that was how stressful our wedding was, because I told him come to India. I didn't know what are we going to do over here. So anyways, the marriage got over, and now we had to hold our head high, right? We have got married. I can't go back to my parents. He can't go back to his parents and say, hey, give us money till we figure out. No, we didn't want to do that. So he told me, let's do one thing. We have our savings, right? Instead of going on any honeymoon trip, let's go on a Char Dham Yatra. So that is where this whole journey began. And trust me, I was clueless about Char Dham Yatra. I didn't know the sea of Char Dham Yatra. What should I expect? What is Char Dham Yatra? I was so stressed with the wedding and all this chaos, the confusion. Even though he would tell me he'll take me to Pakistan, I was ready at that moment. Let's go to Pakistan. So that was my state. But thanks to him, he took me to Char Dham Yatra. And this was back then. We got married in 2013. Before social media, we didn't have so much access to reels and information and knowledge. It was not available at a click of a button. So we started our Char Dham Yatra. Everything, because we had to save money, we planned on our own. So it was a 20-day yatra, both of us. Everything was done in the most minimalistic way possible because we had a very tight budget with which we had to do. So we finished Yamunotri, and then comes Kedarnath. Now, I am not a person who does walking, jogging, or anything. I hate all of those. I hate trekking. And then we go to Kedarnath, where you only have to walk, and walk. So we start walking. I'm looking around and I'm seeing there are only old people. There are no youngsters. Trust me, I'm talking this about, 5, 7, 8 years back. And someone asked me, Beta, आप इतना जल्दी क्यों कर रहे हो चार धाम? आपके लाइफ में तो आपके लाइफ में बहुत टाइम है. I didn't understand what she meant. My husband was laughing. So usually the mindset was you finish everything in your life and then you go to Char Dham Yatra because there's no guarantee you will come back. That is how difficult it is. And I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, fine. We are walking. I'm feeling breathless. I'm like, what is this? Where is the temple? Everyone is saying, idhar hi hai, ma'am, idhar hi hai. I can't see the temple anywhere close. And then to our luck, there's some old person who comes, catches our bags and tells, Beta chalo, main lekar jata hu, idhar hi hai mandir. I knew he was lying. But somewhere, I felt that force or that trust that I need to trust this person. Let me just go. So we caught his hands and, I went to Kedarnath. That moment when I stood in Kedarnath, and trust me, this was much before the movie Kedarnath, much before the rush what is there now. Hardly few people over there. I am seeing Himalayas all through my sides, shining like silver clouds. Standing over there, my mind was choked, I would say. I couldn't believe it. I'm standing in Bharat, I'm standing in India, a country that is so beautiful. I felt why I did not know about this place, why I did not study about this place. That is when I came to know how the Pandavas were chasing Shiva, and finally, that is a spot where, Shiva became Shivalinga because he kept the hand on the ox. The Shiva turns into, the bull over there. Such a beautiful story. I never knew about all of these things. So anyhow, we finished the yatra. Luckily we came back, nothing happened to us. And that 20 days of the trip was something that we couldn't take out of our mind. So we finished the yatra, we came back, and that's when I joined Walt Disney Company because someone had to earn some money, right? So I'm like, enough of this, I'll get back to my corporate life, you figure out what you want to do. So I went back to my corporate life and I worked with Walt Disney for 8 years. But somewhere inside me, that seed was already planted. I could not let go of the memories, what I had during, those 20 days. Uttarakhand, they say it is a Dev Bhumi. And all of you seated here, if you get a chance to visit that place, it is a must-visit place because it is extremely beautiful. The nature, you can feel God, you can feel positivity everywhere over there. You won't see any malls, you won't see any junk food, you won't even find hospitals. That is how beautiful that place is. So anyways, I came to Walt Disney, I was doing my job, and then comes 2020, the pandemic. 4 walls, we were just stuck between 4 walls, and we were like, what do we do? This is so suffocating. Imagine, you're in a place like Mumbai, small flats, you're just staying over there. We were so helpless. We didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So I just told my husband, let's pack up, let's go to Mangalore. Anyways, I'm working from home, we'll figure out, we'll do something. So we packed our bags. My daughter was 1.5 years old and we came to Mangalore. Now someone who is born and brought up over here will completely understand how difficult it is for someone to stay away from temples. It is there in our DNA. We just can't stay away from temples, the rituals, the celebrities, the functions that go on. Starting from, I think June and July are the only 2 silent months over here. From August to May, this entire place is so vibrant and we are so busy, right, growing up in this. So we couldn't digest the fact that we could not go to temples during that time. And that's when we decided, let's do one thing, let's take temples to everyone's houses. Now just imagine, I'm coming from a finance background, he is also an engineer, MBA, completely different background. We don't even know how to hold a camera in our hand. I am not any actor or anchor or anything like that, I was never front of a camera. And then we can't get an anchor, of course, we don't have so much money. We can't hire a cameraman, again, we don't have money. So that's when my husband becomes a cameraman and I become the anchor. And we start going to temples. We started with the temples close by, Mangla Devi Temple, Kadri Temple, Katil Temple, Polili Temple. And it just blew my mind because I literally grew up going to these temples with my parents. I had no idea what is the story of Mangla Devi Temple. What is the story of Kadri Temple? Do you know Kadri Temple is so unique? We have the tirthas on the above. We have the Kashi water coming through the Gomukha over there, which is so rare. Till now it is coming 24/7. All these small details which were completely overlooked as a kid growing up because no one told me in the way I could understand. I just went to temple because my parents forced and took me to a temple. So that was a wonderful journey. We did our first video. Now just make a guess of how many people would have seen that first video. Any number? 100? Less than 100, it was 50. So I'm sure in that 50, 40 would be my mother who would have seen it on repeat mode. And other 10 would have been relatives to whom they would have forwarded the video. But anyways, it was never about those numbers. We were so soaked in that we enjoyed 2 years of the pandemic. I really didn't realize how it went. So Monday to Friday, we would be doing our work, and immediately after work, pack up bags, and me, my brother, my husband, just go to temples, understand the story, the history, come back home, how to hold a camera, research everything on YouTube. I used to see how to talk on YouTube, and then we just ended up making these videos. So all this was done. All the YouTube videos were up, people were responding, everyone loved the videos, and then the pandemic got over. And I finally ended up getting my dream job at Amazon Prime Video. All this while, 10 years, 12 years, I worked so hard, Citibank, JP Morgan, after that Walt Disney Company, and finally after 2 months of grueling interview, I got my job at Amazon Prime Video. And that moment I felt, this is it. All this while I was working hard was for this one job. I think, I have done it all in life. So we went back to Mumbai again. I started doing my job. Trust me, it was one of the most best jobs I could ever imagine. It was on the local originals, OTT, right? All the Mirzapur, Panchayat, everything that you see, I was working on the finance side. It was a typical page 3, kind of a role where morning to evening you're working with spreadsheets, numbers. After that you're going, meeting these celebrities, launch shows and parties and all that kind of a life. But somewhere deep inside me, I felt like I had a plate, a literal golden plate with all the amazing food. Still, I was not happy. That was the situation I was in. I literally had the best job, everything was going fine. My memories were still back home, the temples where I went, the stories, what I learned. Why do we have a Dwaja Samba? Why do we ring a bell in a temple? These things just kept haunting me. And yet again, I told my husband, let's do one thing. Can we go back to Mangalore? I was not ready to leave my job. I told him, I'll still continue to do my job. And, weekends, let's go to temple and continue doing that work. And he loves Mangalore more than me. He jumped and he said, yes, let's go. So we packed our bags, we came to Mangalore. And, that is how on a Friday night we sit and we think, so what should we keep the name of the channel? And I said, let's keep Mangalore's Temple Girl. But then we thought, the temples that I'm going to travel is not only going to be in Mangalore, it's going to be all across India. We're like, okay, let's just keep Temple Girl. And we just randomly started that page. So I was working with Amazon, and side by side, I was traveling to these temples, slowly making these videos and posting them. 5 months, 6 months down the line, the page started growing so fast that 1 week, if I wouldn't post a video, people would DM and kill me like, ma'am, where's the next video, next video, next video? And a job like Amazon, it's not easy, right? It's not like a 8 to 4 job or a 9 to 5 where I then switch off and I go to, a temple. It was very stressful job. And that was a point where I had to make a choice. I had to think, what do I really want to do in life? Is it a job? Is it a progressive career? Or should I go to temple? Should I tell these stories? And for me, because it was not something that happened overnight, it happened through, these beautiful so many years. It was an easy decision. It was a no-brainer for me that I wanted to quit my job. And yet again, when I went back, I told everyone, I'm quitting my job at Amazon. Within 1 year, I got promoted in Amazon. Everything was so good. People really thought, you have lost it. I randomly met a friend and he's like, Nikka mande samaiji, job pura burdu, daig devasthana pura popini. I hope many of you understand Tulu, right? So he's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you leaving such a good job and going to temples? And at that moment I thought, Yenka mande samaijya ijanda, Yerega mande samaiji, how time e panpundo pandu. Because I didn't know whether he could be right, I could have been wrong for leaving my job. But anyways, I left it to time. So I decided to leave my job. And that is all about the second door of Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple. the Nabi, the lotus that grows, the Brahma who is a creator. And all this, what I'm telling you, is not something that happened overnight. It's a journey of, 10 to 15 years. The juggle between corporate life, doing something what you're passionate about, doing something what you really like. And then comes the third door of the temple, the beautiful lotus feet. And that is as important as a face. So 2 years down the line is just me. I left my job, standing here, with 2.5 million followers on Instagram, 500K on YouTube, 100K on Facebook, and so on. Trust me, even to this day, those are not the things that make me happy at all. When ma'am told me that her 4-year-old boy, I think he's seated over there, he loves your stories, that is what brings me happiness. I met someone in a temple, they told me, we don't give our phone to children unless they are watching temple girl videos. That is what fills me with happiness. Rest are all numbers. Now, talking about content creation, it's not easy at all. People might think, onji phone itindayao, erandala content creator, you can become a content creator. But that's not how it is. It is such a tedious job. Sometimes I think, trust me, doing my job at Amazon was much more easier than doing content creation, because the algorithms keep changing overnight. Something that you posted yesterday will just not perform tomorrow, or something that worked yesterday will not work, after a week. It's that crazy. So added to that, the genre, I would say, that we selected is a zero-error genre. There's absolutely no scope to do error in the work that we are doing. Even now, if you ask me, ma'am, how do you do this? How do you tell the stories? I don't look back because I'm so scared. I don't know how I've done it so far. I don't know how I'm going to do it in the future. But all I know is I'm just enjoying this journey so much. The happiness that I'm getting in this was no promotion, no awards that could have ever given me. So if someone asks me, so all your 14 years of career is a total waste, right? I would say those 14 years build me up as a person today. The content that I'm working, who are my stakeholders? All the people who are watching are my stakeholders. You won't believe it when I say I get thousands of DMs every day, and I go through each and every DM. I go through each and every message because people tell me, ma'am, please visit this temple. Ma'am, please do this video. And that is how I build this community. That is how much of hard work we do day and night, listening to people, traveling, researching, reading a lot of books. Especially when it comes to spirituality, temples, these are all very complex. And I, as a kid, I wanted someone to explain these things in a very easy way so that I could understand. The minute it is complex, we switch off our brain and we're like, oh, that's not our thing. Spirituality, temples, not our thing at all. So we wanted to tell it in the most simplified way. You're talking about a 4th century temple and you're telling it in a 2-minute story. It's not easy at all. So most of you must be thinking right now, oh, she was lucky. She got it very early in her life, what she, wanted to do. The answer is absolutely not. I'm still learning. I'm still in a state of confusion. I wouldn't be wrong if I say that sometimes I still think at nights, was it a right decision for me to leave my job? But again, next day morning, when I wake up, when I go to a temple, the energy that I get, when I understand about these stories, when I touch a wall, I can feel that, oh my God, my ancestors have also touched the same wall. They have come to the same temple where I am walking today. That happiness is something that no job or nothing can, fill me in. Maybe that is why, I'm still going on. So that was my part of Temple Girl journey. Now, most of you might think, oh, this is very good. Where is the money coming from? People think there's some big sponsor sitting behind me or there is some Tata behind me. No, absolutely. There's only my husband, my cameraman, everything, my director, my producer. He's the only one behind me, not anyone else. So then, there's a very interesting turn that happened. One day we were putting our daughter to sleep, and as a working mother, one of the most biggest challenge that we have is bedtime stories. And we only know 4 stories. The thirsty crow, or the elephant and the ant. I don't know your generation what stories you all have heard, or few stories of Rama, Krishna, the butter. Max to max, I would just replace the characters and I would tell the same stories. And that's when I realized this is such an important time in every kid's life. Probably bedtime is the only time they sleep, they lie down in one place and listen to whatever we are talking. And that 1 hour, half an hour is such a crucial time in the entire day. Why don't we do something for children? There's a lot of videos available for children. I didn't want them to, see screens. There's already enough of screen time. It's already become a big headache for parents how to take away children from phones. And that's the idea we got of Temple Girl app. An app which is specifically designed, for children. That was what we had in our mind, where we put these small stories about temples, about God Vishnu, Krishna, Durga, all these stories which are there, sitting down there, but there's no one to translate these stories. So it's just been less than a month we started this app, and you won't believe the response is unbelievable. When we started this app, I remember telling my husband, will at least 10 people subscribe to this app? Because obviously it's not free like Instagram, you have to pay money. And then he's like, don't worry, even if 10 people are listening to your stories when sleeping, our work is done. So 10 to today, I think there are thousands of people who have subscribed to the app, who are listening to these stories, and it's just evolving as we speak. So that was a small idea that we had, which is just growing bigger and bigger. Coming to books, we are working with Penguin and HarperCollins. We are working on 6 books, Vishnu, Shiva, and Shakti, and also, on the most powerful temples of India. So all these things, nothing was in the plan. Even if you ask me now, what is your plan 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? I'm going to be blank. I don't know. Will the app work? Will we make money? Will people still follow me on Instagram? Will people still consume the videos, that I'm watching, that I'm doing? I don't know. I don't have a clear, definite answer. But all I can say is I'm thoroughly enjoying this journey and I don't regret a single day. So all of you seated over here, you all are students, and I must say that whatever I am today, I must give it to this land where I grew up. It's a very special place, and all of us seated over here are extremely lucky to be a part of this land, and you all are even more lucky because you are a part of such a wonderful institution. I was just having a campus tour with Vivek and my mind was blown. This is the first time I'm coming to this campus. I really told him I wish it was close by. I would just put my daughter over here. Such a beautiful campus, and if there's one college which is a flag bearer for tradition, for culture, for arts, for sports, then it is Alva's college in Mudabidri, and no other college can beat it. I was just telling Vivek, God, why don't you guys talk about this institution? There's so much the world needs to know. Forget world. Even in entire of Karnataka, I have not seen a campus like this. The importance that is given to, arts, tradition, culture. I walked through, the painting museum. Extraordinary talent seated over here. So no matter whichever field you go through, I always say that it's not about how far and wide you go. It's all about how deep you go in one subject. It could be anything. It could be dance, it could be music, law, homeopathy, naturopathy, anything. Go deep dive into one subject. A person who knows little bit of everything might end up getting a good job. But a person who knows in depth about one subject, trust me, he or she is going to be the real winner. They are the people who are going to survive through recession, through AI, through anything, because you have gone so much in depth and you have studied. Lastly, I would just like to end saying my famous quote, something that I live and I breathe every day. God Krishna told Arjuna, do your duty, don't worry or don't chase the fruits. That is what I strongly carry with me. When I started my work as temple girl, I never was bothered whether 10 people will see my videos or 1 million or 10 million. Never. It doesn't bother me even till today. But what I enjoy is my journey, the happiness I get, when doing this, the happiness I see in everyone's eyes when they get to know about something new where they've been going through ages. That is what really matters to me. So, all of you seated over here, someone said the vaults, Padma Swami. We all have that secret vault hidden inside us, Vault B, which is not open yet in the temple. We all have that secret vault inside us. Question yourself. Find out what is that purpose in your life. Trust me, our human life is extremely precious. Don't waste your time, watching something random. These days, social media just absorbs so much of our time. I know I am also there on social media. But use your time wisely even when you're there on social media. Life is very short. We all have come with a definite timelines. We all are, going to go up one day. What is a purpose in my life? When I die, at that moment, I just want to think, did I live a life of purpose? Did I, make 5 people happy? Did I help 10 people? This is something that I strongly believe in. And you all, as especially the youth, the future of our country, there is so much on your shoulders. And most important thing I would say is, few of them might hate me for saying this, but please don't leave our country and go anywhere. Go for a holiday and come back. Make so much money over here that you can travel anywhere in the world. That is what I strongly say. Earn so much of money that you put your finger on the map, you go, you travel and come back. But Bharat, this is a country where the future belongs to. There is so much you can do over here in whichever field you are there. Just tap into that field and trust me, you are going to grow like no one can catch hold of you. So Bharat Mata ki Jai, and thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, ma'am, for that truly captivating and thought-provoking session. You have not merely spoken about temples, you have taken us through corridors of history, devotion, art, architecture, and timeless wisdom. You have reminded us that these sacred spaces are living repositories of our collective memories and identity. It's time to engage, reflect, and clarify. We now open the floor for an interactive question and answer session. I invite the audience to share their thoughts and question with our guests.
Check.
Purab has a question.
Please be kind to me.
Please raise your hand if you have questions.
Ma'am, after listening a lot of wise wisdom from your side and a lot of insights from you, ma'am, I have a question, but before I start my question, ma'am, I have prepared something for you, ma'am. Can I present it for you? Please.
Sure. Yeah, please.
Then you can ask. Yeah.
Hello. So, ma'am, I have just one question in my life. So, ma'am, at a point of time when we, like being youngsters, at this juncture of life where we think whether we should follow passion or profession, where all other people, whereas our cousins, our friends, either they are making good money in Amazon or in any of the companies, someone is flying to US, someone is making good amount of money in other companies. Even I think so, ma'am, when you started your session, I think so I resonated to one point where being a NCC cadet, I know most of the time at home my mother, huh? Yeah. So my mother used to always say that what the hell you have got out of NCC. You see your other cousins, they are earning out of like 25 lakh or 30 lakh, someone is in US, and recently one of my cousin got placed in Infosys. So today my answer to my mom is, yeah, my uniform might be there in my cupboard. Yeah, my rank is there in the koi, but one thing that I've earned out of my uniform is 100 salutes, and that is more than anything. And ma'am, my last question is, ma'am, the day when you quit your job, ma'am, was it a difficult situation for you, or was it a God's plan? Because most of the time we say they were not tender, or otherwise it was the situation. So, ma'am, according to you, what is your opinion on the things? Like, that's the thing.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for this precious gift, first of all. So I think you asked me two questions. First thing is profession and passion. That is what most of you will be, having in your mind. And I don't want to give any false answer or fabricate and say profession is a must. Nothing happens in life without money, right? But having said that, always have the passion inside you. Don't kill the passion chasing profession. That is something that you have to definitely keep in mind, because we have 24 hours in a day as human beings. Even when we are doing something as a profession, you're not going to sit there and work there for 24 hours. Set aside some time for your passion, and few years down the line, you never know how your passion is going to turn into your profession unless you give it a chance. So always, manage both, because profession is also very important. Without money, it's not easy to survive. And sorry, what was the second question? I think, what was it about? God's plan. Okay. Was it easy or difficult? Again, I don't want to give any false answer. It was extremely difficult for me to make that decision. There are 1,000 times midnight I woke up my husband and I'm like, are you sure I should leave my job? And once he really told me, I'll slap you if you wake me up between the night and ask me this question. But it was very difficult. And even in Amazon, when I told, when I'm leaving my job, there was a girl who showed the phone, literally my Temple Girl page. There's hardly some 100K followers. And she said, you're mad to leave your job for this. And I only laughed because I didn't know, what future holds for me. So it was a difficult job, but, sometimes you just leave it to time, and definitely God has a plan for everyone. But unless and until you open yourself and give it a try, you never know.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, there will be many stories of each temple. How will analyze that, and how will filter that this is the authentic story about the temples? That's my question.
Yeah, again, a most asked question. So every time I enter a temple, I always pray first thing that God, whatever I'm speaking over here is not me speaking. You are, the one who is from this temple. You are the story creator of this temple. So whatever you want me to tell the world, use me and make me tell the same story to the world. So that is a basic prayer I do in every temple. And coming to your question, somewhere I feel it's God's blessings. till now, God has been holding our hands and ensuring we tell the right story. But behind that, there's a lot of research, lot of hard work that goes behind it. We actually go to a specific place, we stay over there for few days, we meet the priest, the archakas, we meet the people, the devotees, and only after that we put together a story and, we put it across to the larger audience. But end of the day, without God's blessings and without He holding our hand, it is impossible to do this work.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Aditi. I want to ask about your opinions about menstruating women entering the temples.
Most controversial question. I'm going to be in Times of India tomorrow. Should I answer this? Okay. Again, this is a very personal opinion. I'll tell you what happens to me, when generally you have your periods, your body is very exhausted. You get so irritated, you're so cranky, your back hurts, there's pain, there's cramps, there's so much that is, going on in your body. At the same time, when you go to a temple, there's so much of energy over there in a temple. I'll tell you exactly what happened with me, when I went to see Padma Swami temple. 3 o'clock in the morning, we were going for the Abhishek. So because it was around 3:34, I couldn't sleep the entire night because we had to wake up. I had to wake up at 2 o'clock, get ready, and then travel to the temple. And that day I told my husband, okay, we'll finish the temple, we'll come back. I'm sleeping, don't wake me up till whatever time. He's like, okay, fine, you come back and you sleep. So we went, we finished the darshan, the Abhishekam and all that. And I came back. I'm sleeping on the bed, I'm rolling. I'm not getting any sleep at all. Again, it's half an hour, it's 1 hour, I'm still rolling on the bed. And then I just threw the bedsheet, I told him, chuck it, I'm not getting any sleep, let's go to another temple. So that is the amount of energy you absorb in while you go to these places. So personally, it's not that when you get periods, you go to temple, you will die or something will happen to you. But your body will not be in a position to take this amount of energy that is there present over there. So yeah, that is my personal experience of, what happened to me when I go to a temple. Again, I'm not saying that it's a yes or a no clear answer. It's subject to your personal experiences. But this is what happens to me when I go to a temple. I'm filled in, I'm pumped up with so much energy that I don't even get sleep sometimes. I sleep after 1.5 days or so, especially when I witness Abhishekam, pujas. There's a lot of energy that is invoked inside you. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Gentle reminder to the audience. I request these curious minds to keep your questions short so that many of the questions are being answered.
Next one, there. Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Vijay Kumar. I am from BA second year. And my question is, what is meditation? And my second question is, what is spirituality? And what the tips will give us to do meditation, or how we can concentrate to this?
Sure. Thank you so much for this question. I think meditation is a key coin term that is used these days, and especially for your generation, I would say it is very important. When I say meditation, sometimes for youngsters, you feel like, oh, I am not any Babaji or Mataji, I can't meditate. Meditation has nothing to do with, being a Babaji or anything like that. It is about just giving that precious 10 minutes for your mind and your body to calm down. So every day in the morning before you start your day, just sit in any place, in your house, in your hostel, campus, anywhere, 10 minutes for your mind and just breathe, that relaxes your body, mind, soul, and it charges up for your entire day. So meditation of even 5-10 minutes, trust me, if you make it into a daily practice, you will see a lot of calmness in your, day-to-day. The anxiousness that you youngsters especially experience, you will see a lot of calmness in yourself once you start meditating. The second question, what is spirituality according to me? Most of you will expect go to temples, that is spirituality. But trust me, that is not my definition of spirituality. My definition of spirituality is first be a good human. Don't hurt people. Don't talk bad about anyone. Just be good, just be kind. There's already so much of hatred, in this world, especially in social media. Someone sits randomly, puts a comment. By saying that, you're putting negativity out in the air. You think it might bother the person, but you putting a negative comment is only bothering you because those words that energy is coming out of you. So, just spirituality is nothing but, especially in your age where you have so much of energy, you don't know how to use that energy. Just use your energy for the right things, to do the for benefiting the right people. So don't use for anything negative. That is my definition of spirituality.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, as content creation has become a new job and it has become a very famous job in this generation, what do you suggest for the new content creators that are emerging in this? Like in our college also, there are many content creators. What do you suggest for them? What is your inspiration, ma'am? Through negativity, through hatred, through everything they go through, what do you suggest them?
See, first of all, when you are into content creation, you should be having a very strong mind, because you will have hundreds of people sitting there and posting any comments, any random things. Now, what is my suggestion for someone who wants to become a content creator? It is a very, very difficult job because every second person is a content creator. So do it as a side passion, have something as your mainstream profession and side by side do content creation. If you feel you have become so good at it, then only, make that as your mainstream revenue. But in today's world, trust me, it is very challenging and it is only and only going to get very difficult. Instagram doesn't pay you absolutely nothing, right? So how are you going to earn your revenue? And the revenues are going to be very uncertain. Today you might get a collab, you may not get it after 2 months, right? So keep that as your side passion, but not as your mainstream, profession.
Namaste, ma'am. I'm a MD scholar from Ayurveda branch. My question is, our generation is very easy to sway away. Like if my friends, I would go to temple and they would call me kya behenji type ki hai. So what is your message to our generation people who would like to go to temple but because of the social stigma, ya party karna hai, ya temple jana hai, ye confusion, what would you give a message to our generation people?
Tomorrow when there's a problem, trust me, they'll come running first to temple only. That is what happens with everyone. You go meet with an accident, first thing your mother will go to Hanuman temple, Shani Dev temple and remove all your drishti. So that is all on the face of it where people say, don't go to temples, you are a Benji and all that. Just listen and move on. It doesn't matter to you. You are in the direction of, invoking positivity. Just invoke positivity and just pray. Hopefully someday they will also be, blessed to come to a temple, because trust me, going to a temple is also not easy. Unless and until you are blessed, you are having so much of positive energy, you cannot keep a leg in a temple. So when someone says that, I feel sorry for them. I feel really sorry that you cannot keep your leg in a temple. I'm not saying don't party. You party. Same time go to a temple, Keep a balance of everything in your life. It's most important.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Mahalakshmi. I thought I got my answer, but still, when we start something new, when we are into some new field, like there are people who pull you back, they talk your back, they'll spread some negativity. Didn't you ever face that? And how was your reaction? How did you overcome that?
I think as long as human beings are there, you will always find someone pulling you down, someone trying to, do something for you and, bother you in your work. But as long as you have a strong conviction of what you are doing, trust me, then it really doesn't matter what people say about the work. What matters the most is whether you are happy with what you are doing. When you sleep at night, is that something that is, making you awake at night or helping you sleep calmly? If that is something that is making you happy, sleep calmly, then you are doing the right thing. If your conscience is happy, you don't need to give a damn to anyone out there and you don't need to answer to anyone. they say, right, logo ka kaam hai kehna. Exactly, right? So you don't bother about people. People will talk anyway. If you do good, they will talk. If you do bad, they will talk. If you don't do anything also, they will talk. So just move on.
Good evening, ma'am. I have a question. What is your opinion about those people who try to break stereotypes? Like, I'll tell you an instant where a woman tried to enter Sabrimala temple. So, what is your opinion about it? So, what is your opinion about those incidents where people justify it? They say, I'm breaking the stereotype which has been followed till date.
See, because I spoke about Sabrimala again, my personal opinion, some may agree, some may not agree. Oh, okay. No, but I'm happy. Many people might have those questions but not ask. See, when it comes to things like Sabrimala, if there is a ritual, a culture that is practiced through so many years, let it just continue. Why do you want to break it? What are you going to get out of breaking something like that? You want to really challenge, go and challenge. Where is the moon? Where are the stars? What is a planet? Where's the rocket? Where's the spaceship? Put your energy for damn that thing where the country will grow, instead of spending millions on whether a lady can enter a temple or, some lame things like that. Don't waste your energy on those things which are not going to, lead you anywhere. I went to Ujjain during Basmarati. All the ladies have to, cover your eyes. It's such a beautiful ritual. Gracefully accept. Just cover your eyes. Not that I'll open and something I'll die. It's a ritual that is practiced through so many centuries. There are people, there are families who have sacrificed, who have given their life to just keep that ritual alive, so that you are going and witnessing today. The least thing you can do is, just go and respect it and embrace it, and don't be silly on questioning these things and just come to limelight for no reason at all. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. Respect the place and respect the culture no matter where you go.
Hi, ma'am. Myself, Soundarya. So, if you had a situation where you had 0 followers or no recognition, what would you try differently to again start this journey?
I would still be going to temples, I think. I don't think, see, like I told you, it was never about followers. It was never about how many people were seeing these videos. When I started, no one were, watching my videos. But I was very happy doing it. And my only thing was, even if 2-3 people are seeing and they are happy, or more than anything, it was my selfish reason, because I was learning going to these temples. Tomorrow I can tell these stories to my daughter. So I don't think I would do anything differently. As long as something is giving me happiness, I would just do that work. And like I said, do your duty, the fruits will come chasing you. And that's exactly what has happened in my journey as well.
Hi, Namratha ma'am. First of all, welcome to Alva's. Such a beautiful session. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and very different aspect actually. Both. Otherwise, I was thinking maybe you would talk about how it's the content creation and all of that. But very simply, very in a very simple way, you took the entire narration, and beautiful session.
Thank you.
I have a very simple 2 questions. I do not have much of intellectual questions like these kids do. Out of pure curiosity, how many temples you would have seen all these years, and what really touched your heart and why? That is one question. 3 questions in one question. One more. There is this concept, because you have a temple boy sitting next to you who goes to a lot of temples, and I'm a very different person than him. So there is this understanding or concept where Mane Mantralaya, Manase Devalaya anta heltave. We see temple, we see God in different places, in our action, in a lot of different things. How do you, as temple girl, reflect on that? Because a lot of people think they need not go to these Shakti Peethas, they need not go to different places, rather, Devaru nammolagane irtane, namma karyadalli nodteve anta. How do you reflect? It's just your opinion. Yes, thank you.
first question was how many temples have you visited?
Okay. So, how many temples I visited? So, this was a rule I strictly set up between me and my husband that we are not going to count the number of temples that we are visiting. Simply because I feel in today's generation it is a chase to say that I visited Bara Jyotirling, I went to so many Shakti Pitas, and I'm not in that race, you know. I just want to travel, enjoy, learn these stories. It's never about 100, 200, 300 temples. So I have not kept a count of how many temples, and I won't, you know, keep a count of that. And what touched me is there are a lot of stories, you know, when going to these temples. I'll tell you something which happened at my visit in Sri Rangam. So I went to Sri Ranganatha Swami temple, and again, because of my book research on God Vishnu, we were meeting a lot of people over there, and we met one person who does the seva front of the god. It's more like a dance ritual. Okay, so they have like a cap on their head, the ariyas, they are called as ariyas, and they perform front of the god, you know, they sing and dance, especially like when you have annual utsavas and all that. So what happened was, he was a pilot. He was a pilot with a proper license, flying planes, and his father was becoming old. So next he was in line, you know, to take up this. And there are only 2 families who are eligible for this particular seva. No one else can do it. And he happily resigned his job and he took this up, you know, as a profession. That is what he does, he's dedicated his life to. So one day what happened was, when he was doing the seva, he dressed up everything and he was in the temple. His boy, their son, who was just 4 years old, was playing in their house, and they have a first floor, and the boy falls from first floor. He falls from first floor and his skull is out, literally skull is out. Everyone comes, his wife comes running, he gets the information that, you know, hey, your son is, you know, in this position. He immediately, you know, rushes, there was little more time for the performance. He immediately rushes him to the hospital. The doctor makes him sign, you don't know whether the kid is going to be alive or not. Forget alive, we don't even know after being alive whether he's going to be normal or he's going to be a special child. And trust me, you know, I don't want to cry today, but every time I think about this, you know, I really can't control the tears in my eyes. He signed that and he just collapsed, thinking, what will happen if something happens to his son? At the same time, in next half an hour, he has to go and perform his duty, and thousands of people are gathered over there to watch that seva. Immediately, he switches off his mind and he chooses that this is my duty. Nothing comes before my duty. He tells his wife, you take care of my son. I'm going to do my duty. He goes to the temple and, you know, he does that seva. And that was the first time he's crying when he's doing that seva. Usually it's a very happy dance moment and he's not supposed to cry. And he's telling in his mind that, God, I'm not able to control my tears. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. But at the same time, I can't forget about my son. He's in the hospital. I don't even know whether he'll be alive, you know, when I go back. So he does that entire performance and he rushes back to the hospital. Doctor says the operation is done. We have to wait till next day morning. Next day morning, the doctor comes and says, it is a miracle. We don't know how your son is alive and how the surgery was a success. And literally that boy was sitting on my lap and I had my hand on his head. And I froze for a moment. I couldn't believe it is that same boy about whom he is saying. So those are the stories, you know, that I get to know when going to these places. And that is what makes me go to temples, you know, coming exactly, it is interrelated to your second question. Doesn't matter if you don't go to a temple. Not that if you sit in the house, if you pray, if you do good thing won't happen to you. But to keep a temple alive, to keep it running, there are families who have sacrificed. There are generations through years who who have left professions like us and who have just been staying behind the temple, near the temple, who have given up, education just to hold that temple alive. So I always feel the least thing we can do is go visit a temple. That's the smallest thing we can do from our side. Not that miracles, magic will happen. That is a bonus point. When you go to temple, miracles and magic happen. But yeah, that is my only thing, because if we don't go and keep these places alive, they are going to just become monuments where we'll just go and say, hey, look at that wall, like what Hampi is today. It's just going to be in history. So please go to temples. That's the only way we can support all these people who have sacrificed for so many years.
Hello ma'am, myself Yashraj Patil. I am from second year BNYS. I have just curiosity in mind, like why do we go in temple when God is living within us? Like in every place within us, God is there. In his body, God is there. Then why only should go in temples and should pray that thing?
Similar question. Don't mind.
And how do we convey like other religious people to visit Indian temple, Hindu temple? How do we convey them? Like my friend Arman Ali, he's curious about temples and all. He come with me to visit temple. Like how you convey other religious people to convey or visit the temple?
See, if I can convince 21 lakh people to go to temple, any one of you can convince anyone to go to temple. But for that, you have to go to a temple first. Seeing you, 10 other people are going to follow you to go to a temple.
After that, the PUC boy in front. And then last three questions.
Ma'am, my name is Rohit. I have two questions. What is the meaning of Om and Swasti?
Swasti, I definitely can tell you, it is auspiciousness, because my daughter's name is Swasti. And Om, sorry, I really don't know the meaning of Om, but Om, I always feel it is some kind of an aura, the spirituality, the positiveness that imbibes inside you when you say the word Om. Right? So that is what is the definition of Om for me. I don't know the intellectual definition. Definitely something I'll go back and I'll check. But yeah, Swasti is definitely, spaciousness.
Ma'am, if you have visited Kashi Vishwanath temple, and please tell the story of Kashi Vishwanath temple.
Sure, you have to follow Temple Girl for that. It's a very long story. I've done a very beautiful detailed video on Kashi Vishwanath's story. It's not something I can say in 30 seconds now. So please do watch that video, okay?
Yeah. Madam, nice to hear you. When I entered the auditorium, I was thinking, do I fit into this room after seeing this crowd? You came here as a motivational speaker. Yes, but I think the first 2 rows, we wanted some more. So my time, I just hear you when I'm cooking, when I'm sleeping. Just today morning, I heard about your Vasuki video. So I urge Vivek and Dr. Mohan Alva, we should have a small video of your temple tour, especially for people like us, the first and second rows. That would be more informative, and you can also tell little more about spirituality and things like that. So it was a wonderful talk. And again I urge, this is what I think this is third or fourth rostrum. Vivek is doing a wonderful job, and getting more influences. I also attended God Gopal Das talk, and it's a privilege for us to meet you live. So my earnest request, you please visit again, and I request Vivek also to cater to gathering of above 40s or 50s. So we won't be having so many doubts as these young minds have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is the last question, and due to paucity of time, please do cooperate.
This is not a question. Hello, ma'am. I am Nagaraj Hegde, a resident of Mudbidri. Ma'am, I am not on Instagram. I have not seen much of your videos. And I am not sure how many million followers you have. But you know what you have done? You are making these youngsters discuss about temples. That is a civilizational revolution that you have brought in. Simply blown away. To worship, one can worship at their homes, but when you connect, when these youngsters connect with the temples of our country, they connect with the civilizational evolution of this country, which we parents are ever in debt for your, for your great work. Absolutely phenomenal. Congratulations. Thank you, Vivek. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a very interactive and insightful session. May I now request Mr. Vivek Alva, trustee of Alva's Education Foundation, to deliver the presidential remarks.
Let it be all of Temple Girl today. So I'll keep it as short as possible. First and foremost, let us bless the JP Morgan boss of hers, so that he's right now cursed by the Temple Girl. First and foremost, I'm really fascinated seeing that man also, Shashidhar. And definitely, we've heard from childhood, behind every man there is a woman and all. Today we saw, behind every strong woman, there is a strong guy also over there. Because before when we came, somebody told, technician is coming. Then I'm watching him with the mobile phones. Now I know who is behind that screen over there. And a great job, Shashidhar sir. A real pleasure interacting with you today. In fact, we thought it is going to be a temple kind of talk. It will be more of the temples. And many of you, last time when I had a diverse crowd like this, it was Gaur Gopal Das. From a monk to a temple girl, I got my crowd back. As you rightly told, ma'am, definitely it is in our mind that we want a diverse group of people to come and visit. Definitely there is always new things to share. But definitely I have to look into my students. And naturally I have to give this more importance. So the focus will always be children in Rostrum. And all of you are always welcome. It gives us more energy when we see people like you all joining us and supporting the Rostrum platform. I thank you all for coming, in fact. In fact, I thought it was more of temples. Till date, such kind of motivational talk, which has reached directly to our heart, I have not listened, ma'am. It was such a beautiful session that you gave. Not only in terms of going to a temple or about temple, altogether as a personality, how a person should be. And it was so beautiful how you engage children. In fact, how you broke the barriers, because everybody think the top job, this is the top job. But very few people love their job. And today you are so passionate and loving things, because when I went to the temple with you, and I could see the love for temples. The next temple we are visiting at this moment, and we've got a puja waiting at 8:15, is the Hanuman temple. The Mudbidri's Hanuman temple is also going to be visited by the temple girl. And in fact, such a humble person, such a beautiful way she went about the entire dialogue. And everywhere the students could learn and your entire journey. Because the first thing when I asked her, ma'am, what are you talking? I'm talking about my journey. But there will be people who want to listen to temples. I'll touch upon some temples, she had told. But still, her journey was so beautiful. How she has taken the journey. How she loves every moment. How she's done a profession out of thin air. My dear friends, this is a great knowledge for all of you. These days, we had a couple of content creators at Alva's. And I had a lot of engagement in my social media. In fact, more than the positive, I had the negatives. Everybody told, like, why Vivek sir is bringing content creators and such things. See, end of the day, we are also testing this. We are also understanding this job form. Today, definitely you should understand, content creation is not very mature at this moment. There is still, it's going to shape up. And when I saw recently, there were a couple of content creators which many people told their own views. But for them, what I wanted to put across, because I didn't want to go on commenting and replying that, the only thing is, see, today we should understand these people are also giving jobs. I saw the past 2 people having at least 20 people who are working for them. I'm sure you have a league of people who are working for you also. They're giving jobs. One more thing what I wanted to tell the crowd was that, see, normally these movie stars are promoting tobacco, are also promoting online betting and such things. At least the people who are coming with us are not promoting this, rather than promoting a kind of culture, a kind of clout. Today I'm so happy that Namratha ma'am has taken a responsibility for this country. Why? Because almost 21 lakhs people, there are 4 lakhs people who are watching her outside India. And today, such a beautifully, these temples are being put across to young children. I'm really happy that application, I was listening to it. I'm sure like most of the mothers would want to subscribe this for your kids. It doesn't have video. It is all in audio format. My only request to you is, I'm sure ma'am has already asked you for you to come again, but one more time, I want you to engage my school parents. Because, you know, when I was giving dialogue before I had a child, I was telling everybody, ನೀವು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಕೈಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಡಿ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಬೈತಿದ್ದೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಬಾರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ನೀವು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಕೈ ಕೊಡೋದಂತ. First thing what I did after having a child was giving that mobile phone to my child. The reason is because we understand how difficult it is to take care of the child. So my dear friends, all the people who are going to be parents soon, you know, this is such a boon for us. This is such a boon for us. Today is 1,000. Next time when she comes, after the talk of the parents, I'm sure there are going to be 1 lakh people who are going to subscribe, and she's going to be the next richest person in our country. I hope Padma Swami, as well as all the gods, are going to bless her with happiness, love she's got, and definitely with all the happiness and wealth in the world. I thank you for visiting Alva's. It was beautiful to listen to you. I'm sure all of you had a lot of questions and engaging. It's such beautifully you all listened. The best part was youngsters. You youngsters giving value for such valuable talk. This gives you, just as he told, just like she is given us, what's it called, a motivation. You kids also have given a motivation for being a great audience. My dear friends, congratulations and thank you for coming to this program, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. As a token of gratitude, may I request Mr. Vivek Alva to present a memento, and may I invite on the stage Mrs. Nandita Acharya, Managing Partner Zari Kucher, Zari Junior and Zari Bedra, our gifting sponsor, to please come over to the dais and present a token. I also request Mrs. Meenakshi Alva ma'am and Grishma ma'am to come on to the dais. As we come to the conclusion of this beautiful evening of Beladingala Chintane, where the moon may have remained hidden behind the clouds, but the light of knowledge and reflection has shone brightly among us, I invite Likita, student of 2nd PUC, to propose the word of thanks.
ಮಳೆ ಮೋಡಗಳ ಮರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚಂದಿರ ಅಂತರ್ಗತವಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಬೆಳದಿಂಗಲ ಚಿಂತನಾಮೃತದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಬೆಳದಿಂಗಳು ಪಸರಿಸಿದೆ. ಗೋಪುರಗಳ ಗಂಭೀರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಶಿಲ್ಪಗಳ ನಿಶಬ್ದತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಭರತ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು ಪ್ರತಿಧ್ವನಿಸುವ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಕಥಾನಕಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಿವಿಯಾಗುತ್ತಾ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ಸುವಾಸನೆಯನ್ನ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಸರಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಯುವ ಮನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಚ್ಯ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯ ದೀವಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ಬೆಳಗಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಪುಟಗಳನ್ನು ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಮೂಲ್ಯ ಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನು ನಮಗಾಗಿ ಮೀಸಲಿಟ್ಟು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಐತಿಹಾಸಿಕ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನ ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಳಿಸಿದ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಗರ್ಲ್ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ನಮ್ರತಾ ಮೋಹನ್ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಮನದಾಳದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ವಿದ್ಯಾಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಆವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಂತನಾಧಾರೆ ಸದಾ ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿರಬೇಕೆಂಬ ಸದಾಶಯದಿಂದ ರೋಸ್ಟಮ್ ಚಿಂತನಾ ಮಾಲೆಗೆ ಸದಾ ಬೆಂಬಲಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟಿ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ವಿವೇಕ್ ಆಳ್ವಾ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ರೋಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ನ ಸಂಯೋಜಕರಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ದೀಪಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರಿ ಇವರಿಗೂ ತುಂಬು ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಸಂಯೋಜಕರಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯೋಗೀಶ್ ಕೈರೋಡಿ ತಮಗೂ ಮನದಾಳದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಜೊತೆಯಾದಂತಹ ಜರಿಬೆದ್ರ ಇದರ ಪಾಲುದಾರರಾದ ನಂದಿತಾ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿರುವಂತಹ ಹಿರಿಯ ಕಿರಿಯ ಬಂಧುಗಳಿಗೆ, ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಿಗೆ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ರೋಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕಾರಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ಸದಸ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳು, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
All the roster members for the group photo. Please do come quickly. All the roster members has to come quickly on the days for group photo.